Hi there. I want to talk about empathy, compassion, and burnout. It's a topic that I wish I didn't know so much about. You see, I've been through burnout 3 times. And I think I finally got it. We blame the situation, the people we work with, the environment, the work that we're doing. And we sometimes, like I did, fail to take into account what's going on within me. And my journey to burnout started long before I started working. When we are subject to fears as children, and we don't have anyone that we can turn to help us learn how to soothe. We have a superhighway built that triggers our fear instantaneously. And it's very difficult to calm ourselves. And what we have learned about empathy and compassion is that they're not the same. In 2009, when I finally learned empathy, I felt it was my greatest achievement. I felt like I had joined the human race and that I was no longer broken, that I was whole. But as I learned, started going through the process of burnout. This time, I could recognize the signs. So we try and find solutions. We get a new job, we get divorced, we move. But wherever we go, there we are. And so my belief is that if we want to avoid burnout, we need to be able to move from empathy to compassion. In my last position, I was the artistic director for over 120 teachers in a large school district. And I could see the teachers that had adapted to the situation, who seemed to care too much. And they experienced the hardships of the students. When you work in a low socioeconomic neighborhood teaching these children, they've experienced the top 10 stressors with greater intensity in their lives. And there's a lot of sad stories. These teachers had a difficult time dealing with the sadness that was around them. You could see them overreacting. And then there were the hardened professionals who had learned to become rigid or use sarcasm. And they too were being affected, and their empathy, they were reacting to their empathy in a different way. And this is because we've learned, Tanya Singer is a researcher, and she discovered that there's a difference in our brain when we are experiencing empathy and when we are experiencing compassion. When we experience empathy, we are distressed, exhausted, and burnout is right at our doorstep. Our brain, the brain circuits in our brain react as if we are experiencing what we are reacting to. There is no difference. It's my brain, when I'm in empathy, lights up. When we are in a state of compassion, it is a total different brain experience. We have positive feelings. We have feelings of affiliation, and the reward centers in our brain light up. same situation, two different responses. We have also learned, and this points the way where we might find a solution. Cliff Saron is a genetic researcher, and he discovered that the telomeres, these are the caps on the end of DNA, that you can see growth, that you can see an enzyme called telomerase after 3 months of mindfulness-based stress reduction practice. This is an enzyme that nurtures the telomeres. In a pilot program, he also found that women who practiced loving kindness meditation and had done so for 4 years, that their telomeres were longer. Yes, the telomeres had grown longer. And instead of having distress, that their body was flourishing, because stress shortens our telomeres. Some researchers now believe that we are biologically primed for love. And they believe that this is why love-based, heart-based meditations work so quickly, because they work much faster than other forms of meditation. With this in mind, and with my own personal experiences to motivate me, I now lead a heart-based meditation every Wednesday night. I offer it for free. I also offer mindfulness-based stress reduction, an 8-week course offered for free on Zoom. My number, that starts the Wednesday after Labor Day, and again in mid-January. My Zoom ID, I'd like to invite you, if you are struggling with empathy and needing to find compassion, I invite you to join me. Zoom 201-862-2308. I'm Diana Liz, founder of Rejuvenating Lifestyle for Mind, Body, Health, and Happiness. Wishing you a life of flourishing.